Hi, this is Howard Bowens from Body by Bowens Personal Training Systems. Today we're going to talk about the lateral line of the body. So that's all the muscular fascia that runs kind of all the way up the side of our bodies. That's responsible for any type of lateral movement, stabilizing us in the kind of frontal plane where I'm moving side to side, reaching the upper body side to side. So that's kind of lateral bending, lateral shifting, the lower body bending with the upper body. Okay. And this is also going to be involved in a lot of movements that are multiplanar, right? So anytime I'm going from out of the sagittal plane and I'm moving and I'm doing a rotation or anything like that, even to a certain extent in the sagittal plane, okay, I'm still using this part of my body just to keep me stable, so I'm not, falling everywhere side to side there. Okay, so this is still part of the Superset series. We're still working 3 movements that we can do one after another, okay, that are going to be kind of achieving the same goal as far as training this lateral line, but in a few different ways. Okay, so the first movement, we're focusing more on activation of that tissue. So we're going to use a kettlebell for this one. You want to use basically a moderate sized weight that you can control. And here I'm just going to squeeze that handle nice and tight so I'm able to control that a little bit better, bring it away from my body a bit, and then I want to level out my shoulder so I know that I'm in good posture here. Right now I can feel really the right side of my body working hard, okay, to not allow me to go into more flexion here, and it's just gonna work harder to maintain extension on that opposite side. I can hold this movement for about 30 seconds. All right, if you want to add some locomotion, I guess, to this movement, you can drive the hip out to the side, bring it back. That's giving a little bit more extension, and then getting some contraction going as I come back to that tall position. All right. After say 30 seconds or however many reps, if you would do say 10 reps, you'll switch to the other side, do the same thing, staying nice and tall, maintaining good posture, the shoulders back, or you could allow that hip to drop out to the side and come back for a little bit more dynamic movement. Okay. This is just how I like to activate that entire line. Okay, so after activation, if you remember from the other videos, I like to do more of a loading pattern, right? And so really stretch the limitations of that line with load. Okay, so technically that was load, but we were pretty static there. We weren't really doing any very quote unquote functional or more coordinated movements with that. All right, so now we're going to kind of step up a notch a little bit with coordination. Okay, and we're going to use this medicine ball. I like to use the soft medicine balls because the way I'm going to be bringing this overhead is kind of awkward. So a medicine ball, soft one, if I happen to drop it, it's not going to do much damage to me. Okay, so that's why I like to use this. And because it's a lateral line, it's not one of the primary lines, it's going to be, probably a little bit weaker than if I have all the advantages of using all the major muscle groups and all the major prime movers most efficiently in that sagittal plane. So typically you're going to go a little bit lighter here, and this is going to be a lateral lunge than I would just a typical anterior or forward lunge. Right? So I just got 10 pounds here, which is fine. I could probably go up to 15, 20 pounds, but I would just stick with that because it's not, ultra important that just the lateral line, I want to load that up as much as possible, okay? Because the strength I gain in my other exercises will help translate over to this as well. All right, so I'm going to lunge out to the side, so I'm going to step straight out to the side here, right? Load into my hip, and then to get my upper body involved, I'm going to swing this over my head here, so I feel that big stretch along the lats through the arms there, and I feel like I'm really working that entire lateral line, and I'll come back from there. Step here, back. So that's 8 reps there. Okay, and then obviously we want to even it up, go 8 the other side. Same idea, stepping out, loading the hips, bringing the arm over the head here. Coming back. Okay, so that's 8 each side, just loading that lateral line, okay, getting some good movement going there. I can set that ball down, okay, and lastly, to get some extensibility going, okay, to really stretch, really extend that line of musculature and fascia so that I don't lose mobility there. I like to use the Viper, okay? You see my other videos, you're pretty familiar with this, but it's kind of a hollowed out rubber weighted tube that just kind of helps me gain leverage and get into stretches a little bit better than I would be able to do body weight, okay? So I'm gonna start with this Viper on the side, and my opposite arm is on top, okay? Closest arm is on the bottom there, and my hips are gonna be shifted away from the Viper. And so automatically now I can feel kind of a stretch going on the left side of my body. And as I reach this down, it's bringing my shoulder across, bringing my hip out a little bit more so I get more, okay, leverage there with the Viper to get a bigger stretch. Now I'll bring it back up and around in an arch type of pattern, an arc, okay, sitting right side of the hip to the side now, okay. And I can shift here, 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 back and forth, so I'm really getting the nice stretch, nice dynamic stretch throughout the lateral line, and I'm maintaining or improving that mobility. I'm maintaining and improving basically the overall integrity of the lateral line. And I can also do this without the Viper. So if I just want to go body weight, you just kind of clasp the hands together, reach up overhead, sit my hips out to one side. I can reach the opposite direction there with no Viper, and do the same thing on the other side, working back and forth there so that I'm still maintaining or improving that mobility there in the lateral line. Okay, so just a quick recap as to what movements we did to train the lateral line. Started out with some activation on just basically a suitcase carry hold. Okay, so I'm just grabbing my 16 kilo kettlebell here, staying nice and tall, shoulders back, keeping that a little bit, maybe an inch away from the side of my body, squeezing and maintaining good posture from that position. You'll see the opposite side of the body fires up quite a bit. I'll switch sides and hold to train the other way. Okay, about 30 times or 30 seconds each side. If I'm going for the little bit more dynamic way to do it, where I'm allowing my hips to drop out to the side and bringing them back. Okay, maybe 10 reps each side works well. After that, I'm loading that pattern up. I'm grabbing a medicine ball. I always prefer to use something soft for this, so sand bell works well. Big soft medicine ball works well. But I'm stepping out to the side and I'm doing something interesting. I'm allowing that arm to come overhead and kind of an arch there, so I'm getting good length throughout the left side of the body, and then I'm coming back from there. So I'm getting good loading and contraction, both in the lower and the upper body, and then I'd switch sides from there. Okay, so that's going to be my loading phase for the lateral line. And lastly, for me, using the Viper, or you can go body weight instead, but allowing my hips drop to the opposite side. Viper helps me get more leverage in really extending the lateral line there, so it allows for improvement or maintenance of that integrity of this line. Okay, so hopefully you all go out and try these movements and try this superset, add it into your routine, and you'll definitely see the benefits from it. Okay, so thanks for watching the whole video. Next time we'll be talking about the spiral line. So until then, train hard, and thanks again.